What actually happens when you miss a workout and how quickly will you get slower? My name is Nicklas, I'm a sports scientist, physiotherapist and former professional triathlete. And in this video I'll show you what the science say and what to do if you miss a workout so you don't lose all your hard-earned fitness. So what actually happens when you miss a workout? A scientific review from 2024 looked at what happens over time if we do what's called detraining, which basically means that we just stop training. And here's what they found. In the first 7 days, you're completely fine. Your VO2 max is steady and your endurance performance are basically unchanged. You might feel a bit rusty, but that's just because your routine is off. It's not because your fitness is fading. If anything, a short break might actually help you absorb all the training you've been doing and make you faster. But then, after 14 days of not training, some small drops begin. Now, your VO2 max starts to drop by 4 to 7%. Endurance performance are still decent, but long runs and faster sprints might start to feel a bit tougher. You might also find that to maintain the same pace, your heart rate is just a bit higher even on those easy runs. Then, after 21 days or 3 weeks of not training, the decline is getting real. Your VO2 max can be down by about 10%. Your endurance performance also takes a hit as your lactate threshold drops and you'll tire out faster. In practice, you'll start to feel slower and your workouts will be harder to maintain the same pace that you used to. Then, after 3 to 6 weeks, you'll really start to feel it. By now, VO2 max drops by 13 to 16%. Your endurance drops even more. Time to exhaustion drops by more than 20%. This is when you truly start to feel out of shape. Your pace drops and your breathing feels labored. Even easy runs aren't easy anymore. Then, from 6 to 12 weeks since your last training session, your VO2 max drops by more than 20%, and your endurance performance is significantly reduced. This is when your body starts acting like it's back to baseline. You'll need several weeks, if not months, just to get back to where you were. But here's the thing. You can bounce back faster than it took to build that fitness in the first place. Beyond 12 weeks, it's almost like starting over. At this point, your aerobic fitness has plateaued at a lower level. Your endurance is far from its peak, but you're not starting from zero. Unless you've been completely inactive, just lying in your bed. But this timeline only exists if you don't train at all, which is not the case for most of us. So what happens if you can do some training? Surprisingly, you don't have to train that much to keep your hard-earned fitness. Let me tell you a story. In October last year, I decided to start taking my training seriously again. I wanted to go for a sub 70-minute half marathon in May of this year. So I made the perfect training plan. The mileage was dialed in, the workouts were strategically planned, and the long runs were there waiting for me on Sundays. This was going to be the first time since my professional career that I would show up, I would be consistent, I would nail every single workout, and I would arrive on race day as fit as I could be. And for the first few weeks, I followed the plan perfectly. But then life happened. My kids got sick and suddenly sleepless nights replaced my morning runs. Work deadlines piled up and suddenly I was working at nights and skipping my workouts. One day I was supposed to go for my longest run and I even had all the energy gels lined up and I had my clothes on. But then suddenly I found myself at the hospital with my son. And just like that, my perfect plan was gone. And almost every time I missed a workout, I panicked. I kept thinking, I'm falling behind. I'm ruining my race. Maybe I should just scrap this whole thing. And to be honest, I still think that way sometimes. It's this constant mental battle. But when I get stuck in a mental loop like this, I remind myself of what my old coach used to say. We have to make a plan, otherwise we don't know where we're going. But the plan is just that, a plan. The real work is showing up when you can and turning that perfect plan into your perfect plan for your circumstances. So instead of obsessing over missed workouts, I focus on what I can do. I squeeze in short runs when I can, even though they're not perfect. I let go of the guilt when life forces me to have an extra rest day. And I remind myself that consistency over time matters more than a few missed workouts. Last week, I had my race, and I ran 1 hour, 11 minutes and 30 seconds. So yeah, you might miss your goals. But you know what? If you keep going, you'll still make progress. You'll still get faster. Not because you're executing the perfect plan, but because you keep going because you don't quit when things get messy. And if you keep going like this, you will reach your goal eventually. And I'm not done. I'm trying again in 14 weeks. And let me tell you this, fitness fades slower than you think. And a scientific review from 2021 actually found some pretty surprising results. The researchers looked at all the available evidence and came to two conclusions. If you want to maintain your endurance, you can get away with missing workouts. You can actually maintain your fitness for up to 15 weeks with just 2 workouts per week of 40 minutes or by cutting your volume by 33 to 66% if you do it right. You see, intensity is the most important factor. Even when training frequency and volume is down, keeping the intensity high will maintain your fitness. So if your training isn't going perfectly, know this. Missing a run or a week of runs won't ruin your progress. Training is about the long game. Stress is stress. If life gets crazy, sometimes the best thing you can do is to rest. And something is usually better than nothing. Even a short 15 or 20 minute run can keep the habit alive. So if you're in a season where it feels like life is just working against you, then just keep going. Adapt. Adjust. Do what you can do. Because the truth is, the perfect plan was never what made you stronger in the first place. Showing up when it's hard is. But what if you have to take an extended time off due to an injury or something else? How long will it take to come back? Let me ask you this. Have you ever met someone who used to be in great shape and then they just do a couple of weeks of training and all of a sudden they're extremely fast? Those people are so annoying, but it's very common. Because here's the thing. If you've trained consistently, your body remembers. Even after a full month off, most runners can rebuild their fitness in half the time of what it took to build it in the first place. So if you've missed a week or even 3 weeks, don't panic. Don't start over. Just start again. But that begs the question. Do you actually need to take rest days or can you just keep training? I'll show you that in this video right here, and I'll also show you what a rest day really is because most people get that part wrong.